Let's start from the Capital Territory, Abuja, where the federal government said it would activate surveillance measures for inbound passengers from China following the current surge of a respiratory virus. Reports indicate that the virus has led to overcrowded hospitals, emergency measures, and public concerns in China. The virus, known as the Human Metapneumovirus, has caused a spike in cases this winter in northern Chinese provinces, especially in youngsters. According to reports, neighboring nations, including Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Cambodia, are keeping a careful eye on the HMPV situation. They have recorded a few cases, but no significant outbreaks. And let's tell you that 2 persons were feared dead at Agbon, the headquarters of Ika South local government area of Delta State, following the bursting into flames of a tanker laden with petrol. According to reports, the incident occurred on Sunday afternoon when the petrol tanker fell while the driver was trying to make a turn on the ever-busy old Lagos Asaba road that runs through Agbo main town. From the videos obtained from eyewitnesses, some residents and passers-by were helpless in trying to put out the flames before the arrival of firefighters to the scene. News Central's Austin Azu reports that several houses and vehicles around the scene were burned severely, just as the body of a car owner who was caught up by the flames could be seen on the road. Meanwhile, Governor of Delta State, Sheriff Borowori, has extended his condolences to the families of victims of the Sunday fire incident. The governor, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Festus Ahon, described the fire incident as horrifying and prayed for speedy recovery of those injured and fortitude to bear the loss of those bereaved in the unfortunate incident. Earlier, we were joined by a public affairs analyst, Victor Orji, to discuss the impact of this.
We give God the glory that it was not on a working day, because if it was on a Monday or Friday or Wednesday, that we usually have customers at the bank and the complete staff of the...
Mr. Orji, are you there?
So it's unfortunate, but we still appreciate the fact that it was not on a working day. You know, we have weak institutions in Nigeria. The VIO has a duty of care to ensure that all vehicles on the road are capable or have the capacity to make use of the road. And it being we have a functional system where cars are checked regularly for brake failure and other maintenance of vehicles, I believe that there will be reduced incidents of such.
In Delta State at the scene of the incident. Austin, good morning. Bring us up to speed. What's happening where you are regarding the petrol tanker explosion?
The events where the tanker explosion occurred yesterday, you can see from my far left, you can see the burnt tanker still lying down there. And if my cameraman can do me just a favor, let him pan around and see the level of damage that the inferno caused yesterday. And of course, we see some of them, taking some of their belongings that left from the fire incident. They are taking some of them away. But come closer a little, you can see the vehicles that were gutted by the fire yesterday. And from what we can see, from what we have heard so far, this is a particular phone that belongs to one of the victims who was gutted by the fire yesterday. And of course, we heard that she has crossed this particular road to the other side with her husband and her children. And she said she needed to pick up her phone. And she came back to pick up her phone. And of course, the fire met her on the way and she was burnt to ashes. This is a leftover of the phone that she came to pick. Very unfortunate that she's no more. And this is the vehicle that she was driving with her family from church. And of course, you know quite well that yesterday was the first Sunday of the year. So obviously, some families would like to be in church. This vehicle burns to ashes. And you can see sympathizers around here now. They are sympathizing and they are lamenting. And this is another vehicle again that was gutted by the fire. And you can see the damage that the fire caused. You can see the building over there. And this particular line here along the Asaba Agbo Road, of course, this particular line here accommodates a lot of business activities. A man said that he has this particular building you are seeing here. This office here happens to be NIM's office, and the downstairs happens to be an electronic office. Everything has gone down the drain. A lot of them are counting their losses, and we wanted to speak to some of them. Some of them were just crying that they can't speak to us. But let's see if we'll be able to speak to some of these respondents here to talk to us. Hello, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, bro.
Sir, how will you describe the volume of damage you have seen here today?
Not be smart, you know, because damage is too much. God save us to not be working day. If not working day, bad thing for happen more than this. That's all.
Okay. How long did it take the fire service operators to get to this place yesterday?
Well, I'm not there. I just come late.
Okay, what will be your name?
My name is Mr. Naba Amos.
Okay, all right. We heard yesterday that the fire service fighters, came quite early. So let's meet you. Your name, sir. Your name?
God's time.
Okay. How will you describe what happened yesterday?
Yesterday, so I went to Fidelity Bank. In that road, there is a smoke under the gutter, black smoke. So and I drive near from the bank. This first bank, too much fire burning. The road burning. So this motor, this trailer, fail brake. It fail brake. So in that catch fire, began to burn the road, began to burn all the cars in the road. So that's where I just know about the solution.
How long did it take the fire service fighters to get to this place? Were you satisfied with their services yesterday?
No. But the fire service came yesterday. So they try. They stop the smoke. They try, but because of the too much heat, too much fire, so they could not.
Okay, what's your name again?
God's time.
Okay, God's time who?
Elemoku.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, bros.
Sir, let's meet your name, sir.
My name is Emeka. I was surprised when the fire started around 12 p.m. yesterday, Sunday. Because I don't know whether on my way coming, I saw the trailer, whether if it's revising or not. Many people we call fire brigade. The fire was even exploding everywhere before everybody was looking at us. So yesterday, the fire started around 12 p.m.
Okay. How long did it take the fire service yesterday to come to this place? And what do you think that should be done for the victims? Because obviously they have lost their belongings. Someone who is selling electronics, someone selling foodstuffs, selling a lot of things here. What billions of naira has been gutted by this inferno yesterday? What do you think should be done to them?
I was even surprised of seeing what is going on yesterday. And I saw almost about 4 dead bodies on the ground here. 4 dead bodies on the ground here. Many vehicles were even damaged, destroyed along the road. It is at last, it was around 5 p.m. we saw the fire brigade here. After when the fire has destroyed many money values of naira, millions of naira here. So it was surprising to me yesterday. I don't really know. I don't understand how the trailer went to the opposite the first bank there.
Thank you very much. Okay, from what the respondent have said so far, this particular tanker you are seeing over there, we learned that it skipped off the road due to the fact that it failed brake while descending on the valley. And not only that, you can see that the place where the tanker is currently, it double crossed the road now. So it means that there was a point in time that the tanker wanted to, either make a U-turn or whatever. But we learned that there was one vehicle that obstructed the tanker while coming. So obviously, it has to, climb the pavement. So the process of trying to climb the pavement, it now somersaulted, and however, it now exploded that gutted this place, destroyed these houses you are seeing here. And from what we gather as well, that it took the fire ranges from around 12 noon down to 5 p.m. before it was finally, reduced to the lowest level. There was a church ahead of us here. You can't see it, but the church was almost gutted by the fire as well. But it took the intervention, according to the man of God, it took the intervention of the Holy Spirit to quench the fire.
Well, quite an unfortunate incident there. Thank you so much, our correspondent live in Delta State, Austin Azu. Many thanks indeed, Austin. Stay safe. In the meantime, the Commissioner of Police in Delta State, Olufemi Abaniwanda, has ordered the immediate rearrest of 2 escaped suspects of Akporaye Jobome and Debbie. Now, this follows their escape from police custody at the Ovian Alaja police station. The police commissioner has also summoned Divisional Police Officer Bolos Musa and his team for investigation into the incident. The escape, which occurred on January 4th, 2025, sparked outrage in the Alaja community, which has petitioned the Inspector General of Police for swift action. Jobome and Debbie were initially apprehended on 31st December 2024 after a rise in criminal activity. Their escape has raised concerns about police negligence and the safety of the community. Suspected bandits have attacked Myana village in Katsina State, killing Surajo Rufai, the acting chairman of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Bakban, along with 2 others. The attack occurred on Saturday night at Rufai's residence in Kusada local government area. Now, the bandits also kidnapped Rufai's 2 wives and daughter, an undergraduate. One of the wives was later released. Police confirmed the incident, stating that a gun battle ensued when operatives tracked the assailants to Kofa village, forcing them to flee. Efforts to apprehend the suspect are ongoing. Rufai's death follows the unresolved disappearance of Magban's National Vice President, Manir Lamido, who went missing June 2024 after traveling to Kaduna State. Investigations into both cases are ongoing. Thank you for staying tuned. The Katsina State Police Commander has foiled the kidnap attempts involving 4 commercial vehicles on the Funtua-Gusau Highway, rescuing 18 passengers unhurt. The incident occurred on 3rd January when armed bandits ambushed the vehicles, firing sporadically in an attempt to abduct the passengers. Police operatives from the Faskari Division swiftly responded, engaging the attackers in a gunfight and successfully repelling the assault. On the same day, police thwarted a cattle rustling attempt in Kafaro local government area, recovering all stolen animals after a shootout. The divisional police officer of Kafaro sustained a gunshot wound during the operation, but is recovering in the hospital. The Commissioner of Police, Aliyu Musa, has commended the officer's bravery and urged the public to provide timely information to aid security efforts. Gunmen from Nigeria have killed at least 5 Cameroonian soldiers and wounded several others in the village of Bakinjo on Cameroon's border with Nigeria. It is the latest in a series of attempts to seize territory in the area. Akat Yoga, a member of parliament for the district of Akwaya in southwestern Cameroon, where the incident took place, said the attack happened early on Friday when hundreds of armed Fulani herdsmen crossed the border from Taraba State in Nigeria to attack a military post. He said it was a retaliation after Cameroonian soldiers killed several herdsmen the day before. Agua Linus, traditional ruler of Bakinjo, said the attackers also burnt down his home. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has launched a series of operations across Nigeria, resulting in major arrests and drug seizures to kick off 2025. Now, on 1st January, NDLEA operatives arrested Aishat Elediye, a 61-year-old drug kingpin, at her mansion in Lagos. Known as Iya Ruka, she had been on the wanted list for leading a drug cartel in Mushin. Her arrests followed the interception of a truck carrying 1,540 kilograms of cannabis. In another operation, U.S.-trained filmmaker Emeka Mbadiwe was apprehended in Lagos after his associate was caught with 17.3 kilograms of cannabis. Additional raids across Kwara, Kano, and Rivers State yielded seizures of drug-laced cupcakes, tramadol, and 316,800 bottles of codeine-based syrup. And still on drug trafficking, 3 Nigerian women have been freed after spending 10 months in jail in Saudi Arabia for drug trafficking. The women, Hadiza Abba, Fatima Mala, Fatima Kanai, arrested on March 5, 2024 at Prince Mohammed bin Abdulaziz International Airport in Medina, following the arrests of 2 Nigerians with 1.69 kilograms of cocaine. Now, they were suspected of aiding narcotics trafficking. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirmed their release on Sunday, emphasizing the role of diplomatic efforts in securing their acquittal. The women have been handed over to the Nigerian consulates in Jeddah, where they are being received by Ambassador Muazzam Nayaya. They are now undergoing immigration processes for their return to Nigeria to reunite with their families. Reactions have continued to trail the call by oil marketers urging the federal government to privatize state-owned refineries. Now, the marketers said the move will promote competition, enhance transparency and accountability, and invest in infrastructure to improve operations in the downstream sector of the petroleum industry. The marketers also called on the government to enforce local content development, ensure the effective adoption of compressed natural gas by 2025, and address the issue of petroleum product smuggling. Under the umbrella of the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria, the traders further appealed for prioritized access to crude oil and a 100 billion naira grant to support 10,000 businesses affected by removal of subsidies. Away from that, President Bola Tinubu will depart Lagos on Monday for Accra, the capital republic of Ghana, to attend the inauguration of President-elect John Mahama on 7th January. Mahama, who served as 12th president of Ghana between 2011 and 2017, was re-elected in December 2024. He will succeed President Nana Akufo-Addo, who ruled from 2017 to 2025. The president's trip to Accra is at the invitation of the president-elect, who had visited the Nigerian leader earlier in December. Mahama and President Tinubu have a long-standing personal relationship, just like Nigeria and Ghana maintain a long-standing bilateral relationship. President Tinubu, as chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government, will join other African leaders at the ceremony. President Bola Tinubu has pledged the commitment of the current administration to complete the nation's eastern rail line, which connects Port Harcourt and Rivers State to Maiduguri, Borno State. Now, the president gave the assurance during an interactive session with Southeast leaders during his official visit to Enugu State, located in the southeastern region. The president also pledged that the current government will support development of the Anambra Basin as a significant energy reserve estimated to hold up to 1 billion barrels of oil and about 30 billion cubic feet of gas.
The question of rail line is a work in progress. I inherited some of these critical problems, and I'm going to do it. Support for the gas infrastructure, sure. Gas is alternative fuel, and there's no wasting of time, but invest more in it. We'll do it together.
It is almost 20 months since the present administration in Abia State took up the mantle of leadership. For these times, there have been challenges in some critical sectors, environments being one of them. It does appear the state government has its hands placed tightly on sanitation issues, with recent successes recorded in Aba and Umuahia. Our correspondent Chiwe Ugile tells us more.
Sanitation was a major concern in Abia State, portraying it as one of the dirtiest states in Nigeria. Governor Alex Otti, upon assumption of office, set up measures to tackle the menace of waste management in the two major cities of Aba and Umuahia, which had initial hiccups and disappointments by the people. However, in what looks like a major turnaround, the challenge of refuse management in the capital, Umuahia, and commercial city, Aba, seems resolved, hitherto known for heaps of refuse looking different these days. Esther Aja is the Special Assistant to Governor Alex Otti on climate change and sustainability, who attributes the success of the refuse management so far to the government's approach.
One of the things we've been doing is the monthly sanitation exercise, and there have been jingles. If you hear the radios, the TV, jingles in English and local languages across stations in it. We also saw the government doing the intervention of removing waste in Aba. And then we also saw the state government partnered with the federal government to evacuate certain waste deposits across the state. So
the citizens cannot help but marvel at the conditions of the cities recently.
I see this place is now neat. Unlike, do you know how this place used to look before? This place used to be a refuse dump. Like everywhere used to be a refuse dump. But right now you can see it's no longer like that. At least we have our separate dump bins and all these things, and they are cleaning it up regularly. So we feel very happy about that.
The things I'm seeing with all indication, Umuahia is a better place now, unlike before.
Government says it has outlined better plans for 2025, but will require the people to make sacrifices to support the effort.
Clearing waste, managing environment costs a lot of money. And one of the things we're trying to also do is to engage private service providers. People would have to pay for their waste. The days of throwing your waste and then expecting somebody else to pay for it should gradually be over. It's our collective responsibility.
The people are also concerned about sustainability of the interventions.
What I can tell him is to maintain the tempo, because I don't see him as someone who wants to retract. I see him as someone who wants to push forward.
Let him continue with what he's doing, because imagine Aba, many governors have tried, they couldn't do anything in Aba. But when you go to Aba now, everywhere is very clean.
While the roads and streets stay clean even during the festive period, government must discourage residents of Umuahia and Aba from dumping waste into gutters and canals, which end up on the streets once it rains. In Umuahia for News Central, I am Chinwe Ugele.
Youths in Zonkwa, Zangon Kataf local government area of Katsina State have called on residents of the state to embrace peace and unity and shun division. And this was during an annual carnival in the state, which brought together families, friends, and neighboring communities. Our correspondent Emmanuel Bugudu throws more light.
It's a season of fireworks in Zonkwa, Katsina State. The carnival, which has brought together Christian faithful in their numbers, is aimed at promoting peace and unity.
God help us, God bless us, and God be with us from the beginning to the end.
So my message to everyone, always be humble, no patient with anybody, love your neighbors as you live, you understand? Yeah, not look anybody trouble. Yeah, this is Nigeria, one love for Nigeria.
While the traditional attires of the various ethnic groups within the local government was in full display, it was also an opportunity to showcase the unique cultures of the different ethnic groups in the area.
The yellow has to do with people that went for hunting, and the rest, that's our forefathers. So we usually use it to upgrade the standard of our culture, so that the entire world itself will know that, yes, Boju Chiefdom is doing well, is moving on.
The joy of the African or the black man trying to copy the culture of a white man. So but it's just in the spirit of celebration actually, that people would like to see or have some little differences on their face, just to showcase that sign of joy and happiness. and then to celebrate with people coming from far and then near. And white generally symbol of peace and joy for the season.
The young lads have made their message clear, and it's very apt and very auspicious. Their message is very clear. They want peace, they want unity in not just their local government, Zango-Kataf, but in Kaduna State and indeed the Northwest at large. In Zango-Kataf, Zankwa, Kaduna State, for News Central, I am Emmanuel.
A new chapter of hope and determination is unfolding at Government College Maiduguri. A 17-year-old Yusuf Musa has defied all odds and rise to become head boy of his school. Displaced by years of conflicts in the northeast Nigeria, the orphan is leading his peers in unwavering commitment to developing a website for his school. News Central's Umaru Kerawa brings us a story of resilience emerging from the northeast state of Borno.
The head boy, Yusuf Musa, with the red beret, alongside his deputy, amidst hundreds of students at Government College Maiduguri. The young talented Bama-born boy, alongside his family members, suffered traumatic experience in the den of terrorists in Nigeria's northeast.
We settled with them almost for 7 months. At that time, I was 9 years old. I was a little bit wise and clever, so we even fetch water for them. They carry my siblings to Sambisa Forest. When they attacked Bama, then the soldier packed us to Maiduguri. We were allocated into different IDP camps.
Raised in an IDP camp after losing his father at a teenage age, Yusuf struggled with financial instability, however, managed to excel academically. Always interested in technology, Yusuf took it upon himself to learn web development skills using free online resources and guidance from local mentors.
Sometimes we'll even spend night here, 9 o'clock before we go back to hostels. We'll be working on dashboards, the website menu, navigation bars, and so on. So we are being split into teams. So we be able to create some part of it, and it's just a minor part that remains for us to complete the website.
I spoke with Yusuf Musa's peers and school management.
We are in group, but everybody was given a work to do. Some are working on the principals, some teachers, some the core members in the school. Yes, to collect their biographies and launch it to the network.
These students are a gift to this school. They have that kind of resilient spirit to learn. And because of that, that one makes them to be so interested in trying to find out and to know all about what brought them to this school.
They understand all this computer language that is Silang, and they perform very well. The head boy is talented and exceptional among all of them, because the way he manipulates in the computer, in fact, I have no doubt he can do it anywhere, anytime. So the school is supporting them with, recently, just last week, the school supported them with unlimited data.
On a mission with so many questions wanting answers, I traveled to the ancient Bama town, a local government once inaccessible due to Boko Haram's control over the town.
After the years of displacement, Yusuf Musa and his mother made the decision to stay in their hometown, Bama.
Yanzu da mutum da makaranta ne in Allah ya ce za su yi muka hakura haka suna ta yi yara suka dawo kowa yana farin ciki gashi kuma yanzu dai ba a san ko za su gama musu makarantan ba ko zai sai a hanya ba ba mu sani ba.
The challenge for the family now is how to get money to pay for Yusuf's SSCE and further his studies.
With the cap making that everybody engaged in our home, we used to contribute money. Sometimes my mother cannot even buy what she likes. She always donates the money for our food stop. She provides food for us, and the money that we make, we are using it to buy our school properties with it.
Cap making is what Yusuf Musa's family struggle to meet ends meet as the young talented boy forges with the quest to establish a website for his school and further his studies. In Bama for News Central, Umaru Kerawa.
Thank you for staying with us. Since last October, The attention in South Africa has been on illegal miners who are still trapped at Stilfontein mine in Northwest Province. Now, this follows after police in South Africa have been intensifying the operation of closing illegal miners. However, at Stilfontein, it's quickly turned into a crisis as some illegal miners remained trapped in some of these shafts, fearing arrests. More than 1,000 of them have since resurfaced. However, an unknown number still remains underground. Meanwhile, community members and volunteers have been helping to rescue these miners and sending them aid and food underground, but remains unclear when the rescue operation by the government will begin. And to unpack this, we're joined by Muzuki Sejam, spokesperson for South African National Civic Organization. Good morning from here. Glad to have you join me on the news. Mr. Jam, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, great. Let me kick off by asking you what's the latest on the trapped miners in Stilfontein. The last time we spoke, we understand community members as well as volunteers were trying their best to help rescue them.
Thank you very much. We have been trying as volunteers and community members in trying to rescue the trapped illegal miners. And thus far, we have managed to rescue about 33 plus 9 dead bodies. While on the other side, the government has not managed to even rescue one person due to what they say it's budgetary constraints. The situation has gone from bad to worse. It's worse because we have received reports that there are about 30 dead bodies underground which cannot unfortunately be extracted. They cannot be extracted because just 3 weeks ago, the government decided to destroy our infrastructure, which we were using to pull these people out, and which we were using also to make sure that we take food down there and water. Meaning for more than 10 days now, we can't resume with our operations in terms of rescuing these trapped illegal miners. We can't do anything because our infrastructure was destroyed. We can't take food, as I already mentioned. We really cannot do anything. So for more than 10 days, these people are trapped down there, and we are anticipating of the conditions underground. But on the other side of the government, there is no sign of them coming to assist or doing anything anytime soon.
Well, thank you so much for that information. We seem to have a poor visual connection with the guests, but thank you all the same for your time on the news. Muzuki Sejam, spokesperson for South African National Civil Organization. Many thanks indeed. At least 8 civilians have been killed in central Mali, with sources blaming the Malian army and Russia's Wagner group for the attack. Now, the incident occurred on Thursday when a Hilux vehicle heading toward a refugee camp in Mauritania was fired upon, killing all passengers. A local official confirmed the attack, and a parent of one of the victims stated that the bodies were buried in a mass grave. The humanitarian source reported that the attack took place between Nyono and Nampala. The Azawad Liberation Front, FLA, a separatist group, condemned the attack, blaming the Malian army and Wagner mercenaries for killing 9 civilians, including women and children. Mali's army is yet to comment on the incident. The country remains embroiled in political, security, and economic crisis. Thank you for staying with us. A shooting at a bar in southeastern Mexico have left 5 people dead and 7 wounded, authorities said on Sunday. Now, the latest in the series of similar attacks in the violence-plagued country. The Secretariat of Security and Civilian Protection, in a statement, said a manhunt was launched for the perpetrators of the shooting on Saturday night in the city of Villahermosa in Tabasco State. It adds that analysis of video surveillance cameras is being carried out, and elements of the state and federal authorities have deployed coordinated patrol to locate and arrest those responsible. According to local media, unidentified gunmen burst into the bar La Casita Azul and opened fire at customers, leaving bloody bodies strewn on the floor. Tabasco, home to oil production facilities, has seen an increase in violent crimes in recent months. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says Ukraine's position in Russia's border region of Kursk is critical to any future negotiation after Moscow said Kyiv launched a counterattack. U.S. officials says they do not expect major shifts in the battle lines in eastern Ukraine, whose leadership last year instead launched a surprise offensive on Kursk.
Their position in Kursk is an important one because certainly it's something that would factor in to any negotiation that may come about in the coming year. I think it's going to be very, very important that if this gets to a point where there is a negotiation and where there is eventually a ceasefire, it be done on the best possible terms and consistent with something that is both just and durable. The DPRK is already receiving Russian military equipment and training. Now, we have reason to believe that Moscow intends to share advanced space and satellite technology with Pyongyang.
In business, Nigeria's debt stock is projected to reach 187.8 trillion naira by 2025, amid challenges like naira depreciation, high borrowing costs, and aggressive borrowing, according to Cardinal Stone. The firm forecasts Nigeria's debt will hit 153.04 trillion naira by 2024, driven by domestic and foreign loans, including a $900 billion dominated domestic bond and $2.2 billion Euro bond. Now, debt rose sharply from 49.85 trillion naira pre-2023 election to 134.3 trillion naira by mid-2024. With 47 of the debts in foreign loans, Nigeria's debt-to-GDP ratio now 58% exceeds its 40% limit, raising concerns about sustainability. Analysts warn weak revenue and FX volatility could worsen debt service ratio, diverting funds from capital investments and further straining the economy. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, warns that $1 trillion in undisclosed public debt undermines growth and worsens fiscal vulnerabilities, especially in low-income nations. Hidden debts, liabilities kept off government balance sheets, risk accountability, and increases corruption potential, according to the IMF. Developing economies burdened by higher refinancing needs and interest rates are most affected. The IMF highlighted weaknesses in legal frameworks enabling hidden debt, citing narrow definitions of public debt and inadequate disclosure requirement. It called for reforms, pointing to Ecuador and Ghana as transparency models. The IMF advocates stronger oversight and reporting to mitigate fiscal risks, particularly in vulnerable communities, as undisclosed debt destabilizes economies and hampers governance. In the world of sports, Enyimba revived the CAF Confederation Cup campaign with a 4-1 victory over Mozambique's Black Bulls, thanks to Joseph Atule's brace on Sunday. Despite the win, the Nigerian club remains bottom of Group D, but sits just 1 point behind second place Al Masry. Enyimba faces Masry next Sunday in Uyo, seeking revenge for their earlier 2-0 loss in Egypt. A poor run from form lead to the hiring of veteran coach Stanley Eguma, Ifeanyi Ihemekwele, and Brown Idaya also scored, while Bulls Nigerian forward Jaita Ifoni netted for the visitors. Group leaders Zamalek held Masry to a 0-0 draw, and elsewhere, Stellenbosch defeated Lunda Sol 2-0, and Renaissance Bakken secured quarter-final qualification win with 1-0 win over Stade Malien. Al Hilal of Sudan became the first team to qualify for the CAF Champions League quarterfinals after a 1-1 draw with Molodia Algier on Sunday. Despite being displaced by the Sudanese civil war and forced to play in Mauritania, Hilal secured a top 2 finish in Group A. Moladias took an early lead through Sofina Bayazid, but John Claude's late equalizer ensured Hilal earned a crucial point. Hilal leads the group with 10 points, while Molodia trails with 5. Young Africans and TP Mozambique remain in contention. Meanwhile, Pyramids FC edged Esperance 2-1 in Group D, boosting their knockout chances alongside the Tunisian side. Now both teams have 7 points ahead of Angola's Sarada Esperance. And that's all on the news. Let's take a look again at some of the major stories. Federal government to quarantine China passengers. Two feared dead, several houses caused damage as petrol tanker explodes in Delta State. South African police discover illegal mine with trapped miners since October. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adiduba.